Drivers are so frustrated. These companies are decreasing the payout for these orders. It's totally ridiculous. When I used to start Spark 2 years ago, it was extremely better. I used to drive just only 3 miles to make guaranteed $15 to $20 per order. Now these Spark curbside pickup, the orders is paying out $8 to go 12 miles. And then you have to come 12 miles back to the store. So total 24-mile trip just for $8. That is totally ridiculous. And I'm not the only one complaining. Like I said, there's so many drivers that stating that back in the days it was so much better. They was able to pay their bills, the rent, put gas in their car, get food. But now they're struggling just to make ends meet. But despite all of that, there is still hope. I'm going to tell you how you could maximize your profit using all three of these platforms. Let's get started. All right, so like I said, when I first started Spark 2 years ago, the payout was extremely better. I'm talking about like I could go 3 miles and make $20 for each order. But now things have definitely changed. The companies has been decreasing their pay rate, and this is not only me. I've heard this from many drivers. Now we have to drive like 10 miles just to make $8, and that's totally ridiculous. That's like cutting our pay in half from when I started 2 years ago. And this is just not from Spark. I've been talking to some other drivers that works for Uber Eats and also DoorDash, and they have been saying the same exact thing. 2 years ago or just years ago, it was so much better. But now these payouts is even worse than Spark. Now, they're saying that Uber Eats orders, they're paying as low as $2 to go 5 to 6 miles. That's just nonsense. That's crazy, all right? But despite all of this, like I said, you could still make a decent amount of money on all three of these platforms, but you just need to know exactly what to do. So let's just start off with Uber Eats and DoorDash, okay? With those platforms, the number one thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you're in the right location, meaning that you have to make sure that you're in a location that has a vast amount of restaurants, because it's not going to make no sense if you're just in the boondocks or just somewhere where there's no restaurants, because you're not going to get any orders. The best places that I like to go to is like a plaza that has multiple restaurants around it, and for sure guaranteed you're going to get an order, okay? The number two thing that you need to do with these platforms is making sure that you're doing it at a set time, at the most busiest times. Now, for DoorDash and Uber Eats, the busiest times is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now, it's very obvious. People is going to be ordering lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then they're going to be ordering dinner from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you want to be only doing this thing from those two sets of time, all right? The next thing that you should be doing is making sure that you're cherry picking the crap out of these orders, all right? Because you're going to be receiving a lot of low paying orders that's not going to be worth it. So you have to decline a lot of orders to get that one good order, all right? So like me, right? Today, I think like like 5 orders came in that was very low until it hit the 6th order, which was worth doing it, all right? At least in my area, that those 6 orders came in like a 3-minute time span. So I didn't really waste no time, all right? So just make sure that you're cherry picking each order to make sure that you get the right order, because it's not going to be worth doing these small orders thinking that it will add up. No, it won't add up, because when you get these low paying orders, you still have to wait 10 to 15 minutes sometimes, or most of the times, to get the order, all right? So your average payout per order is still going to be low. So make sure you're taking your time declining all these low payout orders until you get one that's totally worth it, all right? So now let's jump into how you can maximize your profit with the Spark platform, all right? So with Spark platform is going to be a little bit different. So in my area, I get one order per hour, okay? That is because I don't really have any other stores around my Walmart. So there's going to be just Walmart orders, and they mostly come one time each order at a set minute of each hour, all right? So like for me, each order comes on the 38th minute of each hour. And if I miss that order, I have to wait one more hour to get the next order, okay? So this is why I just totally stopped doing curbside pickups, because the curbside pickups is like DoorDash and new Uber Eats is pretty low. They're starting to become so low where it's like going down to $8 for like 10 miles. And that's totally not worth it, because you have to go 10 miles to drop it off, 10 miles to come back, 20 miles for $8. Totally ridiculous, all right? But what I did notice is that the GMDs, at least for me, is still worth it. In my area, I will receive a GMD for 30 miles, and the payout will be $45 and up. Most of the times it's like $50, $55, sometimes $65. So for me, it's totally worth it, because I could spend less than 2 hours doing the whole GMD, and I would make $60, $45, average around there for just 2 hours. So 2 hours divided by those numbers is like $30 per hour average, all right? And when I choose the GMDs, I make sure that the last stop of that GMD is near a Walmart, so that I could continue receiving orders from Walmart, and I don't have to drive so far to get to the Walmart, because we all know that we're keeps putting gas into our car because we drive long miles, and that's eating away from our profit. So just make sure that you're as close as possible to the Walmart for the last order, okay? So basically for the Spark platform, I think the only thing that's worth it is the GMDs. You could still make a decent amount of money from these GMDs, all right? All right, so I know you're frustrated too. I know that you want to express yourself and just leave comments. So just make sure you leave comments down below. I'll make sure to reply to them. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Give it a thumbs up.